Morning everybody. This morning I am now talking to you because normally I do these little how-to videos with music and you can just watch it with a bit of voiceover, but this one's a bit more complicated because I'm showing you a 3-needle bind off, and I've just noticed that I've dropped a stitch on this somewhere. Or have I? No, it's just wonky. There are two reasons that you do it 3-needle bind off. One of them is because it's stronger than doing the Kitchener bind off, which we've done before, and the other one is because you can use it to create I can't remember what it's called. I'll find out in a second. It's a folded over waistband, folded over hem, and it gives it a really nice thick hem, which is nice and neat and tidy. And you can just fold it over, knit the two lots together and carry on going with your normal knitting. I really like the look of it. It's really neat and tidy, folds over really nicely, and this won't come out of here, and that means I'm going to drop a stitch at the end, so we're going to have to catch that. Let me catch that stitch 1 second. I'm just going to catch this stitch at the end of this provisional cast on because I have not put it through my needle. There we go. Problem solved. Now let's pull this out. So what I've done is I've done 2 of these little swatches, and we're going to bind one off completely and do a folded over hem with the other, so you can see how one with live stitches and one without live stitches goes, because the idea on the folded over hem is that you've got your one set of live stitches back to carry on with the rest of your sweater or whatever it is that you're making. And it's actually a really nice hem that it gives as well, so highly recommend. Okay, let me just fix this and come back because I have no idea what I have done, but I'm going to fix this and then we're going to do it. Okay, let's do this. You're literally knitting the front and the back one together. For this one, you've got your wrong side out facing. Depending on how you've got your needle back in there, you might have to go through the back loop of your back stitch, which is what I'm having to do. And as you can see, I'm knitting it onto the needle at the moment. You could bind these off as you go, but I'm just going to go back along and bind them off in one go so that I have less live stitches to deal with. Apologise for anyone that can hear my son beating up his balloon. It is his birthday. He has turned 7 and he is very excited. Just got to catch up that stitch that I've got hanging down in a second. Here it is. There. So close it off that needle now. And then you can turn it around. Now you've just got these and it's all joined together, see? And you can either knit each of these you know, knit them together, or you can do a normal bind off, or you can do whatever bind off you like with these normal stitches. It's not going to have any bearing on the stretch or anything like that, not really. So I'm just going to knit 2 together and then knit 2 together, because that's the bind off I like best, apart from obviously an I-cord bind off, because that's just the best for a fancy edge anyway. However, this is going to be on the inside of something, doesn't matter. Don't need any stretch, don't need anything like that. So you're just knitting 2 together and putting that one back on. It's giving it that edge there. Don't do it too tightly, otherwise you get bunching in the rest of your stitches. The other one is fairly similar, except that you pretty much fold your work the right side out, so your live stitches are then, you know, you can see them right where they need to be. So the benefit to this over the Kitchener stitch is, yeah, it's supposedly stronger, which I could, yeah, it's less stretchy, so yeah, it probably is stronger. It's a bit more stable. So if you don't need the inside of your project to look perfect, it is stronger. Let's have a look at the inside now. Yep, see. Oh, see, it is slightly different, the join, but frankly, you know, on most projects you wouldn't even notice, but that's the join for a 3 needle bind off. Okay, let's move on to the other one, and I'll show you how to get that end onto your needles. So I've got too many needles. Here's my other one, and all you're doing differently for this one is folding it that way, so that your stockinette's on the outside instead of your purl stitches. So it's all knit on the outside, sorry, instead of... So we're going to go that way. Let me just pick up all the live stitches off of the provisional cast on here, and we'll be back. Okay, so this time all we've done is folded it in the opposite direction to the one we just did, and our working yarn is at the back. This other thing hanging down is the tail from our other cast on. I'm just going to put it out of the way so it's not going to confuse me. So this time you're doing exactly the same as we did before, which is knit front and back together, occasionally having to go through the back loop because of how I've put the needles. Actually, this one's pretty good so far. Yeah, so you can have this as a really nice hem, and then just carry on your project from this 3rd needle over here. I'll show you that in a second. I think I've only got 1, maybe 2 projects that have this type of hem on them, which is a shame because it's actually really, mind you, it takes twice as much yarn, I suppose, than a normal hem would, because you have to knit twice as far and then fold it over. So I suppose it is a bit of a yarny to this type of hem. Not in my yarn that I'm going to ignore. My child asking for biscuits. And he's already had biscuits. Okay. else has got their kid at home this week. More power to you. This pandemic is quite trying on those of us that have absolutely no experience with homeschooling whatsoever. I mean, I taught him to, you know, talk and walk and read and stuff, but the rest of it is what the experts are for, right? Okay, so there you go. Now you can, this will be your pearl side, so you can do a, I don't know whether I've got enough yarn to do a row of pearl, but let's give it a go. So this would be the wrong side of your project now, this side, you see? What's going on there? I'm just gonna, I think that's part of the stitch below, but because I've already, there we go. Let's fix it that way. Perfect. And there you go. You can not see the join at all on this side. All you know is you've got an extra squishy band for around the bottom of your sweater, which does not roll, which is an extra plus for those of us who hate our rolling hems. And it also wouldn't need nearly such an aggressive block as others would either. Hopefully this has been really helpful. There is both of them together. So that's a 3 needle bind off. See you again tomorrow. Bye.